is our past national president, GCI Senator.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Let's make welcome a standing ovation. The patron of JCI University, Engineer Doctor Wisdom Enang, standing ovation.
Good morning, everyone. The JCI president and all the regional leaders. I'm very excited to stand before you. I wasn't even aware. I was told that I would be made a patron. I wasn't aware it was already effected. Thank you, the president. Okay, so why am I here? I'm here to motivate you all. I'm here to talk to you about becoming yourself, because what you see and the profile you've heard, there is a process. So when I did my PhD, my supervisor said that the PhD was in two parts, the process and the product. And he asked me to be more focused on the process. And I didn't know what that means, because I just wanted to have a PhD and go home. And he said, no, that's the product. The process is who you become whilst going through the journey. And that's the most important thing I would encourage you to do. So what's the process of becoming successful? One, there are some myths you must demystify. The first is that the future belongs to those with the muscle of the brain, not those with the muscle of the arm. You must understand and demystify the existing narrative and adopt this new narrative. Because for you to fundamentally wield power in today's society, in today's world, you need to have the knowledge, you need to bring something to the table. That's the fundamental thing. And I mean, times have passed where you would have influence of any kind on an international scale just by being the strongest or the most influential physical actor, but now it has to do with what you bring to the table. And the reason is this: what you bring to the table is what fundamentally solves the global problems. So in as much as I have passed through my own model before, when I set out to become a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, I was 31 when I started the journey, and I got it at 31, and today I'm 32. This year, 32. When I started that journey, no one believed it was possible, because there's a caveat. For you to attempt to become a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, you must have worked 15 years. I had no 15 years anyway. You couldn't even give it to me, and I probably wouldn't have it in the next few years. But here's the clever thing I did. I was given option A and B. I chose C anyway, because that's what I do best. I invent my own metrics. If you want to put me in a box, I'll think outside the box. I reinvent a new paradigm, and I'll negotiate that we play on that paradigm. So what I did cleverly was very simple. I wrote to the fellowship board and I said, hey, okay, let's look at it on the grand scale of adding value to engineering. I understand that you want serious people who have done this, but what if all I've been doing in engineering is changing bolts and nuts for 20 years? Can you compare that to the value I would have added as a researcher, as an innovator, for say 5, 10 years. And the question was that I said, okay, why don't we all subject everything, the years, the contributions, into value? And then we can demonstrate on an objective basis if the value represents the quality of standards that you would like, for someone who is a fellow. They adopted my method. But I won. That was where I was going to win. Because the method I adopted, I advised them to adopt, was not just it wasn't a method that showed where I was at the material time. It showed how fast I was getting there. So it didn't show you only the destination. It showed you the rate of change in my progress. And once you can project it and say, oh, if he's here at 30, where is he going to be at 40? Then they were able to make a case. And then, of course, my contributions. And then, of course, they were able to demystify. On average, you get a fellow at 47, 48. I got it at 31. And everyone was like, okay, this is shocking. What am I saying to you? I'm not trying to boast. I'm trying to tell you, do not be confined by the rules. Go out there and break the rules. That's what I'm telling you. The rules are there, but they've been set up by somebody's intelligence, which is by no means comprehensive, by no means infallible. Go out there to make a difference. Just tell yourself, I'm going to break the boundaries. I'm going to make a difference and add positive value. Now, as we go on, one key topic that has got into my mind is the aspect of mentorship and leverage. You need to understand that there are two main types of currencies, I would like to say. The financial currency and the relationship currency. Now, you may think to yourself, how am I going to get there? I can tell you how I went there. It was by building relationships. I'm not the smartest guy. No. And in my school, I was 5th, 6th, 7th. I wasn't making it that far. And actually, in year 3, I nearly repeated the year. But that's by the way. Because the success of it is that I was more focused on what I needed to do to succeed, rather than what the curriculum of the academic system wanted to conform me to. So I'm not here to tell you the textbook things that the university system would have taught you. I'm here to tell you practically how to succeed.
For example, when I approached the Minister for State Petroleum Resources, what I said to him is, good morning, sir. I love what you're doing. I've been seeing what you're doing in the gas space. I'm an enthusiast. I by no means know everything, but I want to find out a little bit more, clear my doubts. He was quite interested. I said, sir, I know you're quite busy, but I want to tell you that I can help you put together your presentation, help you do some research, give you some options to select from. The next minute he said, you can do that. Can you show me what you've done? I got a file. I said, this is what I can do, and I'll do it for free. In return, you would help me out in whatever way. I said, sure. The next minute, he asked his technical advisor to take my number and invite me to the office. And we've been having a wonderful symbiotic relationship. Here's what I want to emphasize. If I presented myself like, oh, sir, I've wanted to see you, I need this help, immediately I would fall under the 90% category that are parasitic to him. So when you go out there and you see a mentor, please present value first. That would attract him. Nobody taught me this in school. The next thing is you all need to synergize. On your own, there is very little you can do. You need to synergize. You need to all look at opportunities, assist every one of you to come together collectively and solve the problem. And we are all the messiahs of the message we're sending. We're sending two messages. One is that there's hope. In a generation where we're easily bought over because of the economic crisis that is going on, the elderly ones feel that they can buy us over easily. We are here to make a statement that we're charting a course, of course, that is going to gain sustainability, that's going to see that the future lives on. And we're going to chart that course. The second one is by using personal example. And I'm going to dwell a little bit on that. There is nothing absolutely as powerful as personal examples. I will tell you that. If you want to send a message, when I stand here, the reason you've listened to me is because you've read the antecedent. So you know, well, let's hear him, but we know what he has done. You need to live. And that's what I set out to do. When I imagined, Albert Einstein would say, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. I sat down in my room in the UK, the University of Bath. I imagined the world where the young people would dare to tread where the elders would not even tread. I thought to myself, must be joking. I mean, I would wake myself up and say, you're kidding. It's not even possible. And I remember the words of my supervisor when he said, you're 21 and you're talking about PhD? And I said, yes. And when I graduated, he said, you're 25 going on 26. Got a PhD? And I said, yes. I started to use personal examples to change. Because before now, if you talk to someone and said, I'll be a PhD at 25, going on 26, you fail at 31, they'll think you're joking. You're a joke. Not even possible. But I was able to demonstrate that, so I would crave your indulgence. Please ensure, as you advocate for excellence across the youth platform, across your platforms, cross-pollination with other platforms, please build your capacity. You will give a lot of grounds to what you say. It's very difficult to question, even when you're wrong. The world has been led for a long time by certain hypotheses. They were completely wrong. But because of the authority of who postulated them, they took it anyways. An energy economist from Canada had said that the amount of crude oil in the ground is finite and that it has reached its climax and it's only going to go down from there. And so that drove the price. The price kept going up to about 120. And then technology improved. We could now do horizontal drilling as well. And now we began to find reserves. We could now do fracking. Then we began to find reserves in places that were not commercially viable before. And these reserves changed the entire dynamic. What am I pointing at? The world had been led for more than 50 years based on something that was obviously very short-sighted. You didn't see the technology improvement coming up. But at the same time, what led them to adopt it is because of the power, the pedigree, and the antecedent of the person who had actually postulated this hypothesis. So I would encourage every one of you, go out there, get yourself developed. Skills is, you need to find out what is the skills of the future, pursue it. You need to find how to build, and also the first step is implementing a personal example. The next step is rolling out a platform within which you can then replicate through mentorship every single ideals, every single values you've built up. That's the phase I am. And let me, before I take a leave, because I don't want to bore you too much, it's a breakfast session. Let me say to you, do not be discouraged if you're facing inertia. They had said worse things to me. They had. And Jesus will tell you that if they've done this to your master, of course, you don't expect to be greater than that. They will do the same to you. If they've done it to your patron, my friend, they will do it to you. And if you're going through a path and there's no inertia, probably that path is leading nowhere. So what I will tell you is, when I wanted to do my PhD, I went to a man and he said, how old are you? I said, 21. He said, you need to go and serve somebody somewhere. Then get serious with your life. What are you talking about? Everyone thought it was madness. They've done it to me. I've been denied opportunities, but I kept pushing. The final message I want to send across, you need to understand that the initial inertia of success is the hardest one. It is the hardest one. Keep pushing. When I wanted to become a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, several boards sat on it and said, it's a joke. But today, they called me and said, look, you are the member that has brought the best value for the conferment of the fellowship, because I do a lot with it in terms of speaking, and I put their names out there and contributions. So the first one is the hardest. And I will explain why. The second and third and subsequent ones build on the first ones. Success attracts a lot of people. Failure attracts nobody. But you must understand that beneath the iceberg of success lies a lot of foundational failures that would be the foundation upon which your success will be built sustainably. Failures, nobody wants to deal with. But once you have gotten the first success, today, I am being pleaded with by at least four institutions. Institute of Mechanical Engineers in the UK, the Institute of Subsea Engineers, the SPE, Society of Petroleum Engineers, and Institute of Management Consultants to become a fellow. Because they've seen I'm already a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, which was the hardest to get. So what I'm encouraging you is push, push, push. It may look like you're starting alone, but sooner or later, once you start becoming successful, everybody would key in. You've seen today, in the comforts of my little abode where I stay, you guys have identified with me, come on and identified with me, and we'll do better things. Before you know it, it will be beyond this. Other teams will come and say, okay, let's identify further. That's it. When I started the journey, it was lonely. I would cry on my bed and think, you're mad. You're like Archimedes. You are 300 years ahead of your time. You're doing mad things. But I can tell you that today I feel fulfilled, because it didn't take that long for me to have a lot of people identifying and reinforcing that I'm doing the right thing. My little story was just to encourage you and ensure that you have the confidence to keep on doing the right things. It will pay off. It takes longer, it will pay off, and it's more sustainable. Thank you very much.
This is a 32-year-old man, doctor, engineer, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. I mean, first of his kind. Dr. Enang would like to thank you very much. I met him yesterday. I was greatly inspired, and then, we couldn't but ask him to please come speak with you, our dear members, to know that there is nothing that you have in your mind that you cannot accomplish. The only impediment to achieving it is you. One of the ways that we identify ourselves as JCI members is this tiny hand. It's a very powerful networking tool. And I want to encourage every member here, if you're not wearing a JCI pin, please proceed to the Director of Business now to get a pin, because now that is the way Dr. Enang will see any of you anywhere in any part of Nigeria and be able to say, oh, I am friends with the JCs. I am sorry that we ambushed you. We're still going to write you formally to be patron of JCI, but we take it for granted that you have accepted. So we're presenting you this JCI pin to confirm our association with you, to thank you very much for accepting to inspire our members everywhere and anywhere in Nigeria, everywhere and anywhere in the world. You could wear this pin somewhere in the UK and run into a JCI member in the UK. That's how powerful our network is. Thank you so much.